Welcome back, friends, to another budget meal video. I hope you guys have had a fantastic week. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you this delicious baked ziti that I made using some of the pantry items and fridge items that I had that I needed to use up. To my pot, I have some pasta that I'm boiling away in some water. You can grab whatever pasta you have. This is a great way to get all those scraps of pasta together and make a meal out of it. Here I'm showing you this meat that I bought from Target a few weeks ago that was $2.29 for the pack. To my pan, I'm just adding a little olive oil. You add whatever you have. So I went through my refrigerator and I found that I had a lot of veggies that need to be used up. So here I have some tomatoes, some onions, some peppers, some basil. All these items were either fresh or frozen. I'm just getting them nice and heated through, get the flavors incorporated. There I'm adding a little garlic, and I just want to cook those just enough to get the flavors incorporated and to kind of flavor the pan. So here I'm adding a little Italian seasoning. Whatever you have in your fridge is great to add here. If you had spinach, you could add that. If you had broccoli, you could add that. And there I just took everything off the stove because I wasn't cooking everything through right then. We'll cook those through later. So like I said, in my freezer I had a couple ground meats. This was ground Italian sausage. So I'm just browning this and stirring it around. If you have ground turkey, ground sausage, even breakfast sausage, you can go ahead and add it here. So there I'm adding my ground beef to the sausage that I had. I'm just mixing everything up. This is a great way to stretch your meat. If you have extra veggies, it'll help to bulk up this meal as well. And here I'm just browning everything, making sure everything is nice and incorporated. And one tip I have, if you have a little water, you can put water in here to help break down your meat even more instead of adding more oil. So there I just added some garlic powder. I'm adding onion powder. Great way to add whatever you have in your shelf. Of course, my favorite, complete seasoning. So then I'm just mixing everything around, getting everything nice and incorporated, and it's going to draw whatever juice was still left over from those veggies. I'm just showing you that there wasn't too much oil that was left over in my pan, just a little bit, and I'm just going to let that cook out. Then I'm grabbing a little ketchup and I'm just adding it here. We like a sweeter tomato sauce, so I like to add it at the beginning. There I'm adding back my veggies that I cooked up. Like I said, if you have any veggies in your refrigerator, your freezer, go ahead and add it here. So in my refrigerator, I had a jar of open pasta sauce, so I just went ahead and added it here. Then of course I refilled the same jar with some water just to get the rest of the sauce out. Then I had a frozen block of tomato paste. I like to freeze my tomato paste if I'm not going to use it all. And I just went ahead and added it. I'm going to let that sit and cook. So I'm just draining my pasta. So with this dinner, I'm also making some garlic toast with some bread that I have in the refrigerator. So I'm going to go ahead and heat up this butter to almost melt it, but not quite. To the butter, I went ahead and added some garlic powder. I had some garlic herb seasoning that I thought would be cool to add here. And whatever you have is what you'll add. And there I added some parsley just for color. And I like to add lemon to anything that has garlic and butter. It just gives it a nice zing. And I went ahead and added a little bit of olive oil. If you don't have olive oil, you add whatever you have to go ahead and stretch just to make it more than it actually is. So I like to taste, and I found that it needed a little bit of salt. So now I'm going back over to my pasta just to make sure that nothing's sticking and everything's cooking. And here I just kept everything on medium-high heat. And here's a French bread loaf that I had in the refrigerator for a while. If I don't make French toast out of this, I find that garlic toast is perfect to use up this bread. So here I went ahead and sliced it about 1.5 inches thick. And I went ahead and put that garlic butter mixture on top. Now this is great to go ahead and put in the oven, but I'm going to go ahead and put this on the stove because I find that it's a little bit quicker and I can kind of control how crusty my bread gets. We like our bread to be kind of soft but still have a crust on it, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So here's a quick trick. Instead of just putting it on both sides, I go ahead and rub the bottom of the bread on the other piece of toast, and that tends to get it nice and coated on both sides. So because I wasn't using my pasta right away, I went ahead and put some cold water on top of it so that it could go ahead and separate. And then I put it back on the stove, heated it through, and then I was just checking on my sauce. So now back to my pasta. Here I had some cottage cheese in the refrigerator, so I just went ahead and added it to my pasta. My pasta is sitting on a very, very low heat. I'm not cooking it, I just wanted to heat it back through. Now I'm adding some Parmesan, and this is the grated stuff. And the great thing about this meal is you can do this ahead of time. The pasta you could have made in the morning. If you have frozen pasta, you can reheat that pasta. So here I'm just adding my sauce, and I'm only adding about half of my sauce here. I'm just stirring it through, and that's going to go ahead and melt that cheese because the sauce is hot. So to my baking dish, I'm adding the sauce, and this is just to help to prevent sticking on top of me adding that spray. That just makes sure everything's going to come back up. And to that baking dish, I went ahead and added my pasta mixture. And I'm just moving everything out. And there I'm putting my sauce on top. So now this is a great way to use up cottage cheese or whatever you have in your refrigerator. If you don't have a lot of cheese, cottage cheese is a great substitute. Cottage cheese is basically the same thing as ricotta cheese. So there I had a mozzarella Italian blend cheese in my refrigerator, so I'm just adding it there. And I just went ahead and dumped everything out because, like I said, I'm just going ahead and cleaning out my refrigerator. There I had a Fiesta blend cheese and I added it, and there I'm adding parsley just for color. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on top of a baking sheet so that nothing drips over in my oven. And I'm going to cook that in the oven for about 40 minutes at 370 degrees. And here I'm just going to go ahead and make some quick canned veggies. This is the quickest way to get veggies on the table. So I just like to combine the French green beans with the corn. And I put a little bacon grease in the bottom just to give it a little more flavor. And I love this bacon bits that they have at Walmart because it adds so much flavor and it's actually super cheap. So here we're going to go ahead and take care of our garlic rolls. So I just sprayed a nonstick skillet and I just put everything on the stove. And I'm just going to go ahead and try to get that butter to saturate the whole bread. So what I like to do is I like to press down the bread to make sure that it gets that garlic butter all the way through. And you just go ahead and keep flipping them. And once you get them to a brown that you like, then you'll go ahead and take them off the stove. And there's no need to add any more oil because, of course, there's butter here. That's what's making that delicious brown. And this is so good. You want to make sure that you don't burn it, though, because there is garlic powder in here, and that burn is not good. So I'm just checking on my veggies, and those are good to go. It only takes about 5 minutes. So there we have it. There's my pasta baked. And the only reason why I kept it in the oven so long is because there was a lot of pasta there, and I wanted to make sure that everything got nice and melty and nice and ooey and gooey and everything heated through. This was one of the dinners that we had last week. Super easy, super quick, and this will feed your family for at least 2 days because it's nice and hearty, super delicious. This is a great way, like I said, to clean out your pantry, clean out your shelves, and put dinner on the table in no time. So guys, as always, I'd like to thank you guys for coming back, watching my videos, commenting, and sharing. And also, I want to send a quick shout out to Money Mom. Thank you so much for suggesting my channel to your viewers. Guys, make sure you check her channel out. I'll be sure to link it down below. And until the next video, guys, have a great one, and I'll see you next week. Bye.